Morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome in, Matt, Mateus, Fox Tiger. How you guys doing today? This music is really epic. I was gonna change it, but it just got done. In 5 seconds, done. So, hang on. Okay. I don't really have any plans for today. I was like, I think I had plans yesterday and I forgot what I was going to do today, so now I don't know what I'm doing. Friday's always a good day. Yeah, it's nice. Jana got home last night, or actually yesterday morning, and yesterday was like such a long day for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I haven't like had time to do anything the last like couple days, so I got that patch out yesterday, which I think we introduced another bug, but only Chaotic Gamer I think reported it, and I'm not quite entirely sure what the bug is, but something to do with the cultists. I'm guessing the cultist cave. There was a check in there to check to see if you had if there were cultists that existed, I think, in the cave, and if there weren't, then it spawned new ones when you walked in. I don't know how or why that was set up, so I deleted that check, and now I think whenever you walk in, it spawns more, so you can like keep walking in and out of the volume to like spawn them, and I think it just keeps spawning more and more of them. So I don't know, we went from one extreme of like them like never spawning and like it's always being broken to now I think them always spawning and being even more broken. But I don't know. A cultist quest has always been difficult to have work correctly. Yeah, it's removed right now, so anyone who already had the quest still has it. I'm not like deleting it yet, but I'm gonna redo it. Maybe we'll do that today on stream. I don't know. The original idea for Xanthus and the cultist quest was the dark seed that they use in Windless Woods, that like is the one that starts growing the portal from for the corruption, that like grows like those big thorns under the ground and then opens the portal. That was supposedly some like ancient relic that has been like, you know, hidden away or whatever. And Xanthus, his boss, actually, so you beat Xanthus, do that whole thing, like he's supposed to have you like hang flyers and like do a couple other things, and then you go meet the cultists, and then they try to kill you, and then you go back and confront Xanthus, and then you beat him, and then you're supposed to get a letter in the mail, and the letter is from his boss, which is like the actual leader of the Dark Ring. Like Xanthus is just like a, you know, like a nobody guy. He's like the foreman, I guess, but he's not like the big guy. Anyway, he's supposed to like message you and be like, Xanthus was weak or whatever, like take his place for me or something, and you were supposed to like be able to like actually join and actually become like a Dark Ring cultist, and then you would deliver an ancient relic for him to the Windless Woods, and you bring it to some dude, I don't know who, probably the guy in that cave or whatever, before you like beat him for that one quest, or maybe someone else, who knows. But anyway, you're supposed to like bring, let's see now, turn some shuffle on and switch it up. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, yeah, you're supposed to bring the seed basically to them. Like you were the one that delivered the seed that caused the corruption. But I think you're supposed to meet them outside the gate or something. I think it would just put an NPC that just kind of like appeared for that quest and then disappeared again. Because you might not have been able to get into the Windless Woods yet. Anyway, that was the idea for it. Did you manage to fix the goblins, or did we give up? So I have not got them fully working yet, and I'm starting to think that maybe this is kind of a lost cause, and what we should do instead is just tweak the ones we already have and just deal with what we already have. And also maybe delete the ones that are like not spawning, if we can figure out which, or the ones that are like not being deleted, if we can figure out which ones those are. So let's try that. Let's spawn over here, away from enemies entirely. Okay, that's fine. Let's fly so we don't get killed. And then let's do F8. Let's zip over here to the goblins. Okay, so there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them. It's these 6 goblins here. We need to know which ones they are, though. 35, 36, 37, oh no, 32, 33. Okay, so we need to delete these goblins. Or hook them up on the spawner. I need a full screen image of it, thank you. Okay, now you can hit stop. I still had them selected. I think we just delete them and then we'll actually, let's go see where they're at. They're all the ones that are up top. Okay, that's easy then. Let's just grab the spawner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, let's just double check that actually worked. Seems complicated. Well, that was the original idea. I don't know. It wasn't complicated. It was like the same quest. The moving or the putting the flyers around was already built. Like I made that, and then I don't remember why, but we didn't use it. I don't know. I don't remember why. Okay, that worked. Those guys are not spawning anymore. Okay, now we don't have any random goblins just hanging out the whole time we're playing the game, no matter where we are. So that's good. What's this? Init post-process? I have no idea what this is. What? I have no idea what this is for. And since nothing is triggering that, let's... I have no idea. I guess we'll leave it alone because we don't know what it is, and it's probably important. I don't know what it is. What's up, golfer? Anyway, I don't know. I kind of want to dive into dungeon stuff today. Maybe we'll do some skill tree stuff. What do you guys want to do? You guys tell me what you want to do today. We'll work on that. You get to be the boss today. You're in charge. I'm sick of making the decisions. Mystic skill tree. Let's plan it out. Okay. I can never remember which Miro login goes to the right board. I don't have access to that board, so that's not the one. Let's sign in with a different account. Got it. Okay. Um, Druid got a whole override too. I don't think I think a lot of this has changed, but let's just start Mystic over, I guess. Put it in here, I guess. Oh, we already have a Mystic drawn here. That's okay. We're starting it. That's fine. I don't know what this one is. Oh, maybe this is the one that I started redoing. I think some of these things I don't know how to do, like the inspiration one. Order spells are now 50% more powerful if the target is below 25% health. I don't think I have a way of 99% of the time when you're healing a target. Yeah, maybe we can do it. Let's go look at first heal. Totem summoning? I don't know what this is. What even is this? I feel like I've like redesigned and rebuilt this whole system like 5 times, and I don't remember what any of it does. Everyone wants dungeons and skill tree stuff. You got it. That's what we're doing. What if we figure out the Mystic skill tree? Do a little spitballing. Yeah. So float. Skeletal mesh. Okay, this is Mystic tether. I think we were spawning every half a second we heal. Right. Is this on the list? What? Why did this log me out? Miro kicked me out, hang on. Okay. That's not even on here. Okay, but I like this, and I don't know if it worked or not, but I really like it. So how this worked is I think when you die, when the healer, the ordered mystic dies, they spawn this thing over their body somehow. And then every 0.5 seconds, players in the area, looking all player characters, we randomly, if they're hurt, then we apply a heal to them. This could technically try to heal the same player over and over and over again, but it's unlikely. We could also call this again if we fail. Or what we should do probably is try like X amount of times. Let's do 4 loop. Let's try this 5 times. If we find one, then we'll return. So that way we don't accidentally heal 5 people. So it'll happen only once if we find someone. Otherwise, it'll try 5 times. That should work. Okay. So James, any plans for world building devlog? Oh, and I get hit with an ad. Oh, you should be good though. That's just a Twitch ad. I don't know. I don't have any plans right now. Are you asking for like world building as in like how did I design like the lore and like build out like culture and like social things and like stuff like that in Swords Magic? Or are you asking like level design? I did make a level design one a long time ago, several years ago. It was like devlog 6 or something, I feel like. Level design. Okay, yeah. So I think I have one on level design and how I do like the basic stuff. My process has probably changed a little bit since then. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. Oh, episode 2, not 6. I was close though. Let's see how different our process is now while we're waiting for this Twitch ad to end. Let's pause the music. This is really quiet. Last week we talked about the character system and what they can do and the systems I built to make placing interesting characters more fun and intuitive for myself. So I sound like such a baby. I don't know why. It's weird. I went back to like the first couple of devlogs a little while ago, and I had kind of a weird, I don't know, I had a weird reaction where I was like, why do I sound like a totally different person, and why does this person sound like a child? And that's just because it was like 8 years ago. Let's fast forward here. More interesting places to explore. Next up is the execution. When I start a new zone in the game, I start by placing down some landscape components. This helps me attach old landscape to new landscapes so I don't have to create filler meshes to bridge them. Okay, so I don't do this anymore. Now, in Swords and Magic, we just have our whole landscape finished already. Because we started with a base, like, design, like this is the shape of it all, and then we just, if I wanted to add like a new island or something, I could add new components, but I don't do that because we have plenty of space already to add all the stuff that I could possibly want to add, pretty much. So now when I start level design, I kind of just go in and find a spot where I know I want to kind of put something. And the nice thing is, because we already have this sort of like all this was kind of generated with I think world map a long time ago. It kind of gives us like a little bit to work with, so I can kind of just get, like, fly around it and get an idea and be like, okay, this little valley right here is perfect for this thing, and like I can put something up here on this like peak or whatever. So like this little area, and a lot of this has kind of been tweaked already. And then I go in and I kind of just, because like a lot of the area where players are playing, I want kind of mostly like level. I don't really want it to be like super hilly and stuff. I think it just kind of gives, there's a little bit of like hills, like obviously like we have a lot of like rolling hills kind of in the farmlands area where it's just kind of like this like wavy effect, which makes it also feel like it's a lot longer or like a lot bigger than it is, because you're like standing at one end of it and you can't see all the way to the end because of like the rolling hills. So you just see like, I don't know, like different sections of it, and it just feels much bigger that way. If it was just one big flat plane, it would feel like you could see right to the end of it, and it would just be kind of lame. But the fact that you can like go down here and you can't see over the top makes it just feel huge. Anyway, so I just go through and I kind of like sculpt out the landscape where I want. The next thing is like big mountain pieces or rocks. That's when I start putting in like all these big cliff pieces, the really big stuff. And I start shaping out where I want roads and paths and stuff to go. And then I start doing tertiary details. And that's like, I guess secondary details, actually, those are primary. And then we start doing secondary, and that's like trees and buildings and structures. Like I'd put like some ruins in and stuff. I wouldn't detail any of the stuff out yet. But that devlog should outline most of that, I think.
Gives me a fresh space to work in. Then I usually start out by sculpting a block out. Sometimes if I want terrain that can't be achieved with the terrain system, like overhangs or bridges, tunnels or caves or whatever, I'll open up Maya and I'll block out a few pieces just so I can stick in the engine to achieve those results. Once I'm happy with the layout of the map, then I'll start adding in big environment pieces like rocks and cliffs. And if I know the area will have an important set piece,
so I kind of just smooth it all out.
Too, or a placeholder just for scale. I usually spend a lot of time running around in game at this stage. I want to make sure it feels really good to move around in. I try out some of the game's current movement abilities and check that I can't get into areas I don't want players to get into, and that I can get into areas that I want players to find or that they should get into. So next up is the art. Yeah. Finally, it's time for final art. This is where the zone starts to really come to life. I like to do art early on, sometimes even during the lockout stage, but that's probably not the best practice.
I don't know what I'm talking about here.
Top down when doing
it's all art.
Or possibly the bottom up, I guess, depending how you look at it. Whatever the case, I start with the largest and least repeated pieces that I can. So cliffs, big rocks, set pieces, which are mostly finished by now from the blockout stage, but I'll add
It's weird that I like wanted to blur all that out, or like smooth all that out. I don't do that anymore. That's all hard edges.
Then I move to smaller props like trees, rocks, logs.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's a whole level design thing. The old devlogs. Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy how much my voice has changed over that short amount of time. It's weird. I feel like my voice was like the same since I was like 18 to like 32, and then suddenly I had like a voice change, and now my voice is like, I don't know. I feel old now. I have an old voice now. I sound like a man finally. Anyway, right. So I love the idea of this skill of this passive. I'm pretty sure, I don't know even what I know. I don't even know what I called this. Let's go skill nodes. Mystic. Aura. So I think this one goes away. I think we ditched the aura. I think the first one should be healing orbs. Maybe we need to like rethink our. Let's go to heal order. Let's take my ring off. I don't know what it is. I cannot work on the computer wearing a ring. It's just like I start like noticing it, and then I start playing with it, and then it just starts like, I don't know, starts bothering me. Okay, we have the heal order. I feel like I thought there was like a, oh yeah, we also stopped the music. Let me know if that's too loud. I'm pretty sure conditional gameplay effects. I think down here. Oh, it's right there. Prevention. We already did this. Okay, I like this. This is fine. I think how we do this is we have one tree that's like buffs and like preventative healing kind of stuff. Like this is all like granting resilience and like keeping people from taking damage. Like maybe we even have like a shield, but like a bubble or something that we could spawn. That might be really difficult to do, but I think we could probably pull it off. And then second, or the next branch is like just active healing stuff, like more healing, like more potent healing. So I think I like prevention. Wait, hold on. Prevention has a witchfire icon. I don't know why. This seems like it wasn't quite finished. But we are adding defense power 3. Yeah, that's fine. So you're taking... That's can't be 3%. Maybe it is, I don't know. Whatever it is, you're adding... I think it might be 3%. Hold on. I just realized that we probably can't be listening to all of this music. Because I bet some of it's probably copyrighted. Okay. What's up, Oob? Necromancy could be a passive that reuses an existing system. What if we convert Scythe spellcasting to a passive? Reuse some current systems. Wait, hold on. What if we convert Scythe spellcasting? So you can't cast with scythe. We can't cast spells with scythes until you unlock that. Is that what you're saying? Oh, sorry. Yesi, I think. Do I use a gas system? Yes, we do. Yeah, I was just showing it. So yes. We do use gas, but this is 426, Unreal 426, and back then gas was like still pretty new. I think it came out like 422 or something, so it wasn't like fully featured yet. And since we're using 99% blueprints, we had to initialize everything in C++, and there wasn't a gas companion function or a plugin back then. I don't think there is now, but it's like too late to use it now because it's already all set up already. But because of that, we're missing a lot of functionality that we would normally use with gas in like a UE5 project. So unfortunately, our gas like use is a little bit limited in like a way that is really disappointing. But we do use it. Never used gas or seen someone debit. Oh, it's great. If you're using a multiplayer game with like, especially like an RPG or something, it's fantastic. I think it's good for pretty much all multiplayer games, especially like PvP stuff. Anything that like, anytime you need to like apply status effects at all, I would pretty much just use gas. I don't see any reason not to do something like that. Unless you're making something like really, really simple. Like you're like, okay, I have a game where I can do damage and I can be caught on fire and that's it. That's the only thing you can do, then gas is probably necessary. But if there's anything more than that, I just use gas. Okay, anyway, going back to prevention, we probably need like a shield or something on this. We need some sort of icon that looks better than this. Anyway, that's fine for now. Did I open this twice? Is that why? Yep. Why didn't you upgrade your engine to 5 and stuff? Long story short, it's because we have long dependency chains, which UE4 is more forgiving about, and UE5 is way more strict over. So when we upgraded, because of our long dependency chains, we had a bunch of errors and crashing, and sorting it all out would have taken like a month or two, and we just decided it wasn't worth upgrading. There's nothing in UE5 that like is so mind-blowing for this project that like it would change the game for us, so it just wasn't worth upgrading. This game was also supposed to be finished like 2 years ago, and so that's another reason, is like it was just like, well, we could upgrade and spend a month or two like fixing all the things up, or we could just finish the game in like the next year or whatever. And it was like that was always the goal, but it just is taking way longer than I thought because I'm one person. What's up, Tangled? Play 77th for rating and 44 for popularity in GMTK. Dude, congrats. That's huge. For your first jam? That's huge. Congrats. There's like 10,000 people in GMTK, isn't it? There's like a ton of devs. I've never done a GMTK jam. Let's just get this tree done with. Yep, agreed. Yeah, I'm not really against locking spellcasting, except I think players are gonna be kind of pissed off when like they suddenly can't do it again. We just introduced it. We're like, hey, you can cast spells with scythes. I think that might kind of suck, but it was a tough setup. If you use the plugin Gas Companion, it's like $20, I think. Well worth it, and you pretty much just turn it on, and then you add like an attribute set, and you're pretty much done. Like, you're good to go. You can start playing with it. Yummy gas. Saw a video from Game Dev TV where you competed against others. To be honest, you did amazing despite the crash. I'm glad you represented Unreal. Thank you, Tangle. Appreciate that. There's another one coming out. I've actually done a second one. I just did it the other day, so it should be coming out in the next month or so. And I feel like I did a much better job this time around. I don't know if I won, they don't like have winners, but I do think that I represent Unreal Engine a lot better the second time around. The first time I did not realize how much people like valued like flashy graphics and like explosions and stuff and like effects. And so I was like, I'm just gonna make the best game I can in the short amount of time I have. So I built an entire like framework for our game that would have been like totally usable for like a more long-term project. I mean, other than the fact that I was rushing because we have 1 hour to build it all. But other than that, like I built a whole like game that you could have built on and like finished a game in like the next couple days on. And everyone else was just like kind of built like one mechanic that was like interesting. And I was like, okay, so that's where I kind of went wrong here. So the next time around, instead of building like one mechanic, because the not to spoil too much, but this time around we had a restriction, which we didn't have the first time. The restriction this time was not only did we have a genre we had to build, but we also had a restriction, and the restriction was one script. And in Unreal Engine, that's a lot more difficult than just having like one script file to like write in, right? Because like you have to have like multiple classes and stuff. Like there's like not really a way around that. Like I can't just build everything on like the player controller. I guess I could have, and then like spawned in like static mesh actors or skeletal mesh actors and stuff, and like done everything in like one place, but I thought that just felt kind of weird. So I built one component that I just snapped on a bunch of different empty classes, and then all the code was handled in that. I don't know, I thought it was really clever and like a cool way to handle like one script, but for some reason everyone thought I was cheating, and I don't really see why. But whatever. Anyway, I don't know, I thought I did a good job. You'll see it probably eventually. Also, Canny? I'm gonna go with Canny. I only read the first part of your message. I know you've been making this game since a long time, so I'm sure too many things would break, but I want to upgrade to every new engine just because it's new and can't wrap my head around using old version. Yeah, I agree with you. I would too. If you're working on a newer project and you don't have like, mountains and mountains of tech debt, like piled up already, and upgrading won't break your game, then do it. Sure. Will there be a way to make your game so you can upgrade to every new update? Yes, you can. You can if you're smart about it. The problem is that this was our first like major game, and none of us had ever really worked on a game of this scale or scope before, and we didn't really know what that meant. Like, we didn't really understand like tech debt to that extent. I'm really glad that we didn't know, because like I'm glad that we didn't like just happen to like avoid tech debt, because I think I learned, at least personally, I learned a huge lesson about tech debt and how it works and like how to avoid it and everything. And I like to think that in future projects I will do a much better job avoiding. I'm sure it's not possible to avoid it entirely, but I still think like 90% of what like tech debt we have right now in this one, I think we'll be able to cut down for the next project. We also had a lot of people with their hands in the pot in this project, because we had my original like design and like how I'd built everything or whatever, and then Moz kind of worked from that and rebuilt everything based on like kind of how I was doing it. I mean, he definitely changed a lot, which is good because my stuff was really bad. But like a lot of my restrictions, like you have to have a left and right click for like left hand and right hand, like that was all stuff that he probably wouldn't have done originally if I didn't already have that built in. And I think if I could have like had the foresight to like see that through, I probably would have changed that. Like we probably would have just made it so you have one weapon equipped and that's it, and it could be whatever, I guess like a weapon set, but maybe not. I don't know how it would have worked. Anyway, there's a lot of like little things like that where I was really adamant about having certain things in and maybe shouldn't have. But we had Moz, and then we had Lewis, and then we had Joe, and then we had me, and so like we had so many programmers touching the engine and like stepping on each other and like climbing over each other and stuff to like get stuff done, that it caused a lot of issues. But anyway, it's crazy how these big studios make an engine upgrade. Look, Riot did it for Valorant with 0 issues. Yeah, well, the thing is, first of all, it's not that crazy if you have professional developers who know how to avoid tech debt and like stuff like that, right? Like they have very high standards. They all have like a lot of experience. And if someone doesn't know how to do something, then the company will figure that out. They'll reach out to someone at Epic or whatever and say, hey, we're making you millions of dollars, so can you step in and like send a guy over here and help our team figure out how to do this thing or whatever. Or they'll like get in a call with them, whatever. Like they have all kinds of like support like that. And if all else fails, they'll just hire a dev from another studio or someone who has the experience to do that thing, even if it's not from Unreal. And they'll come over and help them fix the issue they have or whatever, right? Like they have the money and the like funding and the connections to do that kind of stuff easy. Like how hard would it be for them to just put a feeler out and say like, hey, we're looking for a dev to come in and do this thing, contract work, we'll pay $6,000, whatever. They would have millions of people applying, right? Like so many people are looking for work right now. It's so easy. So yeah, they make it look easy because it is easy for them, mostly because the preparation is there, and second because like they have the support they need. A small indie team like me, we first of all went into this not realizing what we were doing and not realizing how important it was going to be to like keep stuff clean, and not understanding what that meant at the time. So there was a lot of stuff that like we could have done and should have done differently. But anyway, might need gas for next project, so that helps. Yeah, it was over 34,000 people and 9,700 games. Jeez, that's a lot of games. Congrats on that again. Look forward to watch that. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, it's usually a requirement for a lot of larger companies for compliance security reasons. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, so Epic wouldn't come out and like give support on even if Riot came in like, you know, was like, yeah, we're gonna buy out Swords and Magic, here's, you know, $5 million, you know, which I would gladly take, by the way. I'd probably take $1 million like in a heartbeat, because with $1 million I could do a lot with my next game, a lot more than this game can do at this point. Anyway, yeah, so if someone came and like acquired us and they went to Epic and said, hey, can you come fix this, Epic would probably, or like their devs would be like, dude, this is 426, like we need to get this to the next engine, and they would do it, but like they wouldn't be able to support them in this engine, right, in this version as well. So like keeping their stuff up to date and having access to all the new things. Like for example, if Unreal launches, Unreal 5 point, what are we on, 6 right now, 5.7, and they're like, oh, guess what, we've literally eliminated all like light costs in the game. We built this new lighting engine, we figured this new thing out, and now lighting is completely free in engines. Like it has like marginal cost as far as like performance goes. Like you'd be stupid not to have your engine upgraded, right, to be able to take advantage of that immediately, rather than having to be like, okay, now we need to take a month to like upgrade the engine or update the project to the next version so we can take advantage of this thing. Like they're not going to do that. So keeping it up to date is really important, just in case a new feature pops that like might be super useful for you. That's just one of many reasons to keep it updated. Be a team's job for a sprint to upgrade something. Yeah, and I bet you that most of like the Unreal versions, like it's a pretty like minimal like process. Like just updating the next one is just as easy as just making a copy of your project and opening it. And they probably do that on a totally different branch, and then they like triple, quadruple check to make sure everything is like working correctly, do a bunch of tests, and then they move it to everyone else and they can just keep working on what they're working on. Like it's pretty easy. Live and learn, baby. Yep, that's my motto. Unfortunately, not by choice. Okay. Back to this. So, this prevention's working. I believe, I think. I don't know. I presume it is. But this means that any time we're using the heal, we're healing with an order class, we have to use heal order. We can't use like heal staff. We can't use anything like that. It has to be heal order because that has prevention on it. As long as we actually want this. It does say casting an order spell, so we might need to put like heal order _ spell on the end of this, just so it does the same thing, except it has that at the end, which might be useful. Also, we need to... Here's another issue. We were trying really hard to keep this stuff like really fluid, so like if you unlock this mystic spell or passive, so prevention, right, but then you decide you're gonna play a healing druid for some reason, which is fine if you want to do that, then this passive should still trigger for you, but it's only triggering for order spells. So if you cast like, I think Conjure Mending Fairy is technically a order spell, but it would be really nice if it was a druid spell, like a druid earth spell. But if you cast like that spell and it was druid earth whatever, then this would not trigger that passive, which maybe is a good thing in that situation. But hey, what's up, Maz? Oh no, this is the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong thing. This isn't even the one that I was talking about. That's not, I don't even have that like built yet, apparently. So that doesn't have to be, what did it say on the thing? Healing an ally. Yeah, so it could just be anything. It's just, the problem is that it's that heal or that prevention effect is only on the orders, only on the order spells. We could put it on all the healing spells or all the healing gameplay effects. It's just like there's a lot of them. There's like a good handful of them, and we have to put on all of them, which is probably fine. Not a big deal. Also healing orbs. I absolutely love this one. This is probably going to be the second one in line, and I think these will be in separate trees. So we actually need to turn this. Let's call this Mystic Order. And this one over here, let's grab all these. I don't know what these are for. These are just things that I already have implemented. We're gonna call this one Mystic Chaos. No, get out of here. I do this every time. So prevention, and then this would be, we can get rid of these. Nope. This, okay, kind of. I don't know how to fix that. It's fine. Somehow this one worked. There we go. And then this guy can go away. Okay, all these need to go away. That's fine. I really don't like the aura thing. I think we're taking that off entirely. I think something like some sort of like presence would be fine, but I just feel like that's more of a warrior thing. Like I don't like the idea that you just get like the idea originally was like you had this like passive aura that you just spawned whenever you cast a spell that would then just like passively heal your allies when they're near you. I just realized I left the fridge open. Whoops. This fridge needs a beeping thing, I guess. 35 large pots and 57 small pots. I will give you a hint, golfer. I would not waste your money on small pots. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying there's nothing good in small pots. It's just, personally, I don't think it's worth the money and I don't buy them. That's all I'm saying. There's still good stuff in there and you can make your money back, and there is like rare things in there that like are nice to have, but that's all I'm saying. Gas is a lot better in UE5 now too. Yes, so much better. There's so many, and if you're using blueprints especially, there's a lot more stuff exposed to blueprints that make it way better to work with. Also ad break. I'm gonna keep going though. Sorry about the ad break if you guys get stuck on that. Okay, so we're gonna do like where's a note? Sure, comment is fine. This is gonna be like active, like more active, potent healing. That's a stupid. I don't want to do this. I don't like that. I don't like it. Resolve. Just delete it. Thank you. I want a sticky note. This is what I want. And this one, this side's gonna be more. I think that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if I love that. What else could there be? Oh right, I forgot the mystic. The mystic was, we were thinking about doing like more of a like having the potential for like a solo thing. So maybe instead of preventative / buffing, we make this solo play. So in World of Warcraft, if you wanted to play a priest and level, you would play a shadow priest, which is essentially our order, our chaos mystic, right? Like it's essentially the same thing. So that's how you would actually, like, if you wanted to be a high level mystic, you could go corruption and chaos, and you could just do a ton of damage and stuff, right? And yeah, that's cool. Necromancer style, whatever. But then you also have, you got money to burn. I'll probably just keep buying them. Hey, that's whatever you want to do. I had like 40,000 gold on my main character, and I was like, thought I was like rolling in money. I think I spent a ton on bank slots at one point, and then I regretted that because then I changed the bank slots prices. But anyway, I had like 40,000, I think, and I'm down to like 2,000. I can't afford any more pots. I bought all the ones I could, and I still didn't get anything like super cool that I might have wanted. Anyway, so we have Mystic. So I think this side is more about, well, I don't know, this doesn't really work either. Because the problem with this is like, the idea with the solo play is that we're going to have a passive that auto summons a guardian, right? That's the idea, is like whenever you cast a spell or whatever, I don't know, or maybe like whenever you take damage, or What are we listening to? We definitely can't listen to that because that's not from any game. We can only listen to stuff from games. We're going here. Give me pots, please. I increased. I don't know if you saw Oob, but I increased how much stock you can. You can now buy up to 3 large pots and 5 small pots. But it randomizes every day. So Myrtle, the inn next to the pots, has probably gotten more business in the past 2 days than she has in the past 4 years. Yeah, it's true. The fact that they're not like when you leave the game and come back in, and they're not saving their status, their like sold out status, that's a bug, and I honestly cannot figure out how to fix it. It works fine in engine. Like if I buy the pots and then I log, sorry, this isn't loaded in, but if I buy the pots and they're sold out and then I log out and log back in, they're sold out still. So like I'm stuck. I can only do that every 24 minutes, or I can jump around different servers. But when I package up a shipping build, they don't do that, and I cannot figure out what's wrong. I'm trying to figure out if it's just my game because I have a really old world save, and I just need to like wipe my save or something to get it to refresh, or if it's happening to everyone. But no one's reported it since the patch, so I don't know if that's actually a problem for everyone versus me. They're still sold out consistently on all the open dedicated servers. That's good. Are they on your? Well, I guess you're playing on dedicated server too. Okay, well, no, that's good. Maybe it's just a bug with my game for some reason. I don't know why. I'm thinking about this chick right here. What's her name? Esther. She's the one that actually manages the pots. I know that seems weird that you'd think Patty would do it. Patty's just a regular NPC, not a merchant. So I might reset her ID. She has an ID right here. And this ID like manages like what she saves, but I might reset it to see if that fixes it for me and other players that might also have the same issue. But I'm glad it's not having a problem on dedicated servers. That's good. But I do wonder how many other people are getting the exploit, I guess. I don't even know if I call it a bug. It's a bug, but it's like an exploit where they can reset it. Anyway, okay, so yeah, if we go like a solo play route, the only thing I could think is like this would just be upgrading your guardian, which might be good. I don't know. It's just essentially like a summon pet, right? That's just like you can't control it. It's just always there, and it's probably gonna just tank for you. Like it's just gonna have a lot of threat. But I like the idea of that a lot. But I don't know if we need a whole tree for it. I sort of feel like it could just be one passive where it's just like Ancestral Guardian, and then like you unlock it, and then you summon a Guardian who just like tanks. It's gonna do like, it'll do damage, but it's not gonna do like a ton of damage. I don't know how to split this tree. Like maybe one is more like prevention and like survivability, I guess, and the other side is just healing. I like a tanky summon. Yeah, that's the plan. That it's supposed to be like super tanky. But my problem is if you're just summoning like if it's just a tank and it does like very low damage, then like it's gonna take forever for you to kill anything. But maybe that's fine. But it might get kind of old if you're just like healing the guy forever, you know? You can deal more damage if there's no players near. This way you can balance it. That's true. We did. I think we thought about that too. Also, I think we also thought about it only showing up if there's no other players near. Like if another player, or maybe I don't know. The whole point of a tank is for you to wall up till the cows come home. The whole point of a tank is to take the damage for you. And stay alive. And so as a healer, I love the idea that you can play like solo, like play single player as a healer and have a built-in tank. Because it means that players who like healing, like myself, for example, like you can just do that if that's what you're into. Like I don't know, I really like the idea that you could just like roll a Mystic healer and play just Mystic healer the whole game and beat the whole game. I don't know if like I think you could do it, because I think we'll still need, maybe we need like one spell in here or whatever that like, or not one spell, one passive in here that like, I don't know. Like you're like, if you're just like, if you're leveling up you're using like willpower, yeah, then you're going to be doing more heals, more healing, and doing more damage. So maybe we, I don't know, maybe we just need some order spells that like do damage, which might be a problem. I don't even know if we can do that. It's a shy ghost. Nice. Being a skill that there is not connected to other skills. Okay, true. Maybe that's how we do the tree. Maybe like these trees are gonna be a little more shallow than the other trees. So maybe we just do like, we even like put this over here, and then we have one. What do I call it? Ancestral Guardian here, and this is when though, and how. So here's the thing: if we're gonna heal this Guardian, that means it has to be able to die, right? And if it dies, then you need it like needs to trigger a cooldown or something, so you can only have it like, you know, you have to wait another like 2 minutes or something before you can summon it again. But what triggers it? Because we can't. Well, maybe we could. I was gonna say we can't just like make it a spell, but I'm really leaning toward just allowing the passive trees to unlock spells for you. Maybe we just do it. Let me get caught up, sorry. Earth Asylum summons an earth pillar crystal that absorbs damage for a set amount of time, and then it heals you for a percentage of that damage after a set amount of time. That's a cool idea. That'd be a really cool spell. I don't know how that would work as a passive, because the problem with the passives is you just the trigger is the hardest part, right? Well, usually. So like trying to figure out how to trigger all these things, like it was hard. Like that's why like Warrior was kind of tough for me too, because it was like, well, I don't want to trigger everything on like either taking damage or dealing critical hits, right? Because like first of all, Warriors aren't really like focused on critical hits, at least in this game. That's more Rogue. So Rogue triggering things on critical hits, or just even just like on a percentage chance of every hit, is like really nice. But for like a mystic, like how do we trigger those things? Would it be easier for you to just add a bunch of spells to the magic trees? Not easier, but I like the idea of that. Passives are easier because I don't have to build a system. So here's the thing. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. And I think I'm going to do this because I just think it's a good idea. First of all, I'm sure any of you guys who use spells is aware. Carrying around like 5 spell books, at least 5 spell books, gets kind of cumbersome. Because they're taking up slots in your inventory, which is fine. And then you have to cycle through all the spells you have on you, which also fine. And I'm kind of really leaning toward having spell slots. Like, I don't know, I only have 3 on me right now, which is fine. But I'm kind of leaning toward like, oh man. I kind of really like the idea that you go into your skills and you click on Mystic and you have a little button down here for your skill tree. And then you have another button next to it for your spell book. And you click on that and it shows all of your like spells in categories or whatever. And you can click to select them. And that like, maybe it'll even show at the top, like it'll say like spell book or whatever. And then underneath that, it'll show like all of your equipped spells, like your active spells. And then then all your spells underneath that, like listed with a scroll wheel or a scroll bar. And then you'll be able to like select one to equip it, and then then click the ones at the top to unequip them, whatever. Or maybe you just click the same one, I don't know. And the reason for that is because then you don't have to have the spells books on you. Like if you find a spell in the game, you don't right click it to equip it, you right click it to learn it. You right click, you study it or whatever, it destroys the spell book. It's gone now. And now you learned it and you own that spell forever. The cool thing is that if we build that system, and also then it just shows up in your wheel at all times, right? Well, if it's equipped, it'll show up in your wheel if you have it equipped, in your skill book, in your spell book. Another thing is we're gonna have like spell slots that are like global, right? So when you go to a skill, whatever, like the mage will have the same bar at the top. Like all of your spells will have like will have a thing at the top here. And then I'm thinking what'll happen is maybe even in like the mage tree, mystic tree, and druid tree, some of the passives, instead of just giving you stats, it might give you more spell slots. Or maybe it'll just be based on level. So if you level up like 2 of these, no, it can't be based on level. Yeah, I guess it could. I don't know. Maybe you can just have like 2 spell slots available per class or something. I don't know. Maybe 3. I don't know. That even seems kind of, I don't know. Maybe every time you move, so you generate energy while moving around the combat area, then that triggers healing. Resonance attunes you to an enemy's combat ability and stops all damage for a set amount of time, a long cooldown. That's an interesting idea. Reflection reduces damage by 50% and returns it to the attacker 25%. We have something like that already. It's Thorns. But it's a cool, obviously I like it. I wouldn't have put it in. What about every time you heal something, it damages a nearby enemy by a part of the healing done? That's very corruption, or chaos, not order, in my opinion. Order shouldn't be deflecting damage to someone else. It should be just repairing things. When did the chat box get revamped? This last quality of life update, not the patch, the update. Do you like it, Oob? I like this idea, but isn't that more extra work? Because a good part of the skill tree is already built. On the other side, do we want players to have access to 20 plus spells at any time? Yeah, that's another thing. because of this, because of the skill tree rework, we have an opportunity to do that with it, right? And it's honestly, I don't think it's going to be a crazy amount of work, because I'm pretty sure I can just go into, let's see. I haven't looked at this yet, but I've been wanting to. I don't think it's going to be a ton of work. I mean, knock on wood. This is usually how this starts, is I think it's going to be easy, and then it's not. This is not where I want to be. I want to be on the player controller. Nope, wrong one. Damn it. Do that every time. So we can go to ammo. Toggle ammo usage. Ammo drum step. Okay, we do ammo drum step, the HUD. So I guess it's in the HUD. Okay, and then we have ammo drum up here, set active index. Player input. I don't know what that is. No range weapon. Got it, okay. No ammo. So this is gonna take a little bit of refactoring in here, just because like if you have a staff, like we care about if you have a staff, not necessarily a ranged weapon. And then we are equipping things, and that's going to be kind of interesting because it means we have to oh man, how do we do that? Good morning. Hi.
Cute.
That was cute.
That's
Get out of here, Moss. All right, you guys have enjoy your breakfast. Love you. Sorry, Jana just woke up, came in. But yeah, Moz has it right. This will be quick and easy. 6 hours later. Honestly, if it only takes 6 hours, that would be worth the effort. But here's the thing. Here's the one thing I wasn't really thinking about is that we have an ammo slot, and that's what's happening here. Is we're just equipping ammo. So if we have, I got the dog. Sorry. So if we're removing ammo, like it's still technically ammo, but it means I guess it could work. We just have to, when we equip spells as ammo, if it's in your like, we'll look at it. Hang on. Law of threefold action, cast 3 different elemental spells in a row. What about order protocols? So the spells / passive trigger when you use an order of both spells, items, movement. So you're having to remember combos. That sounds complicated. I mean, it's a cool idea, but it sounds really complicated to build and for players to remember in a casual game. Okay, so anyway, so let's say we have used our E and Q or whatever, right, to equip fly, and now it's in here. So the problem is that if you've destroyed the spellbook to learn it, and then it equips it, right, it would have to like give you that item and then equip it, which means it would probably pop up and say, oh, you got this item every single time we did this, which would be kind of annoying. Or we could just hide spells in their inventory. I don't know. We could find something. Maybe we just like, maybe we just check if you have a staff equipped, and then we just like change this subject or change this. That's the way we do this. Another thing is we could even leave spells the way they are, like spell books the way they are, so you could still use them. Like you could equip them, instead of learn them if we wanted. And then certain spells would just show up in your bar that you could just cycle between. That we like unlocked, like learned. That I don't know if that's a good idea. Anyway, but one potential idea is if this is a spell, we can still show this as it's a spell, right? But you just can't right click it. Like it just won't unequip. And it won't even show the spell book, it'll just show the icon there. Like we can just ditch the spell book idea. Or we can leave the spell book idea, but that'll just be like, that'll just show up for when you actually buy spells and stuff. But when it's actually equipped, you won't see the book, just the icon. Because we have those separated anyway. Anyway, yeah, and you could just like right click it and it would just, nothing would happen here. Which would be, that would be easy to fix, I'm sure. The only tricky part would be, we wouldn't be like equipping it. We'd have to write a new function for that. And that wouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I think this would be like 1 day of work. And the potential for this is the potential, right? Because then when you have a skill tree, you could technically put spells on it. Which means like we can have like an ultimate spell or something or whatever that you unlock at like the top of the order tree, or like the summon guardian could just be a spell, right? Like it would just be a spell you unlock by unlocking that skill in the tree, which I really like. And then here's like the penultimate, like this is like where this could potentially go. Is it doesn't have to be limited to spells. It could also be active combat abilities. Like we could have an arrow, right? Where when using a bow, like you shoot an arrow to a location and that would trigger like a volley of arrows, and it would just be like arrow volley as like a spell or whatever, but it would just be an arrow that you have. And then we would just put like a cooldown on it or something, I guess. I don't know. We could have like actual melee skills. Yeah, we could do that. This absolutely sounds like it is worth doing. And then yeah, like the warrior could have like a whirlwind or something that you would just use. That would take more work to make sure, like let the melee classes use it, because as you saw like in this thing where we actually check this, we are checking to see if you have no ranged weapon equipped, and ammo and stuff, and it would be technically ammo, and this would have to be refactored. So this would work for like arrows. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it. It would probably be a couple days of work now that I'm like thinking about it more. If we wanted to do like melee skills and stuff. If we just wanted to do spell books, I don't think it'd be that bad. All this is just the visual stuff. None of this is the actual like logic of equipping the thing, I don't think. Yeah, like all this is easy. It's literally just this one function right here that does the actual thing. Yeah, so this is fine. This is easy to do. And then this right here is the only thing. Well, actually, this would be a problem too, because we were not technically unequipping, but that's fine. I don't know. I guess the thing is, like, we would kind of just change how this whole system works if you have a staff equipped. You know what actually would probably cause a problem though, now that I'm thinking about it? There would be one glaring issue, and that would be using a staff and a slingshot at the same time. Because they can technically both have different ammo on them. Right? So if you have splash potions, now you have all of the ammo. Still probably not a huge deal. We could just kind of like do both, but I don't know. If melee classes can also get spell books, then I'm down. Yeah, and that's what I like. They would, but we also have to keep in mind that that also means that every one of those spells or abilities for the melee classes would have to be like built, right? It's not like it'd be one thing if it was just kind of like, cool, now they have abilities, now it's done. But like one spell book can often take like a whole day, like one new spell to like design a whole new spell, which is why we don't have a ton of spells yet. We have a bunch, but we really need like lots more. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really torn. I really like the idea. I just don't know if it's actually worth the effort when we're just trying to get like this update out. Yeah, I think I'm starting to think this is scope creep. Now that I've like really talked through it more. I think this is a situation where it's like, this is a cool idea, but we wait until the game's making enough money to justify spending time on cool ideas. And right now I think the goal is just, we need to get the game finished to 1.0 so I can either move on or the game has like a second wind and we can keep adding more cool stuff like this. And this, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if this is something that I would feel comfortable doing after 1.0. Because I feel like at 1.0, it's sort of like, this is the game and now here's more content for it, right? I feel like that's changing the game. If we like overhauled that after 1.0, that's like changing the whole game. Moz, right, as of right now, here's the idea. So we have spells, right, that you can cycle through to cast. I forgot how to unequip the fly spell. You just hit shift. Anyway, so we have like spells you can equip, right, and cast. And the idea is that they take up a lot of inventory space. I mean, I guess they don't really in this case, but like sometimes they end up taking a lot more, depending on how many you have. And the idea was, what if we just put a spell book? So like you click on Mystic here, and then you have a little spell book button at the bottom, next to your skill tree button. That's just hidden right now. And then it would show all of your equipped spells at the top, like in a bar, like all the ones that you have active, and then a list of all the other spells you've unlocked in the game. And maybe like this would just be like a generic spell thing, and you could just have so many equipped. I don't know. Anyway, and you can equip those, and then you wouldn't have to have them in your inventory anymore. And when you found a spell book, you would just right-click it, and it would pop up and say, kind of like this. Pop up and say, you're about to destroy this item and add it to your spell book permanently or whatever. Right? You can change your spells in your journal or whatever. And then it would destroy the spell book, and then you would just learn it. Right? And the reason I really like the idea is because our skill trees are all passives right now. So they all have to be triggered based on like things you do, right? Like whenever you cast a spell, or whenever you take damage, or whenever you get a crit, or whenever you take fall damage, or do a double jump, or whatever. Like we have to trigger it on something else you can do in the game, and we can't like, it's really hard to like actively trigger a passive, which is kind of fine. So like the reason I kind of like it is because then we could add a spell in there. So like, for example, for the order spell or skill tree we're working on right now, because we're kind of revamping it, there's an ancestral guardian, and the idea is that it's like a tank that you summon and you can heal it. So it's like you can kind of play like solo as a healer, and you just have like a tank that always just hangs out with you and like tanks enemies, so you can just stay back and be a healer for the most part. It's not going to do a ton of damage, so you'll also have to be kind of doing damage at the same time and healing, so you're still going to have to be playing a little balanced. It won't be like entirely healing, probably. I guess you could. It just might take a little while longer. But I don't know. It just like, I know we can come up with a way to like, okay, the guardian gets summoned at this point. I mean, it could just always be there too. Like the guardian could just like you log in and the guardian just gets summoned, or as soon as you take the ability, it could just be summoned. So you just always have this guardian hanging out, and that would be fine. And then maybe after it dies, it just has like a 2-minute cooldown and then it just auto summons again or something, right? It could be anything. Or maybe it summons by interacting with something in the world, right? Maybe like, I don't know. There's lots of things we could do here, like that would allow you to like have control over the summon. But I just thought it would be nice if it was just a spell. So yeah, the idea is to move everything over. It's not just for this one spell either, because the thing is, if we did move everything over to like learning spells, then when you cycle through your abilities, it's no longer like cycling through items in your inventory. It's cycling through learned abilities, probably in addition. And the only reason like this is gonna get really complicated is because you can also have like a slingshot equipped, for example, and then when you cycle through, you also have like splash potions. So it's gonna have to search for your inventory and your known spells, your spell book or whatever, which is honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It's just more work. It's just work that I don't know if we really need to do or not. Sounds like an overhaul. It is. It pretty much is. I don't know. I'm just trying to decide if I like it enough to justify spending a few days on it, because it's going to take a while. I'm sure it's not going to be super straightforward. Well, I don't know if it's worth it. The cool thing about it is that we could do, if we did that, then we could also have passives or active abilities for other classes. Like the tank could have a charge, right? And you would just essentially cast a spell by whole, like, yeah. But that would probably mean overhauling all of the melee weapons to the new weapon system as well, just like we did with the scythes, which would be, that would probably be a week of work by itself, because I'd have to move all the weapons over too, and we'd have all the exact same issues with that we just had with the scythes, with like dropping the wrong things and stuff. We'd have the exact same issues with every single weapon in the game, which would be probably a little bit of a nightmare to do. So I don't know. I really don't know if that's worth it. I feel like that part in itself is probably too scope creep. Would it be cool? Yes. Would it be worth it? I don't know. Anyway, I think this is one of those situations where like we should have thought about this ahead of time. Like, I don't know. Let's just move on. Let's not worry about it right now. This is not important right now. It's not worth it. I made up my mind. Okay, so we have Ancestral Guardian. This will just be, you'll just summon it whenever. Maybe you need to go to an Anchor Shrine to get it back after it dies. Maybe you go to an Anchor Shrine and it like revives it. That'd be kind of cool. So there's like if you let it die, then you have to go back to an Anchor Shrine entirely before you can get it again. And we can put that on the thing or something. I don't know. We'll see. We could even have like when you unlock it, we could even have it like pop up with like a tutorial card or something and say like Ancestral Guardian is an always active, like, you know, summon or whatever. If it dies, you have to go back to an Anchor Shrine to revive it or something. And that'd be fine. But I kind of like that idea. Let's write that in there. Kind of like it. Okay, then Healing Orbs is... Oh, we're going to move these around, though, I think. I like this one at the top. Prevention gives all your allies +3 resilience for 10 seconds. Why is that the way to do this? I don't know. And then Healing Orbs, whenever your staff base like an order staff projectile doesn't hit an ally or an enemy, it'll spawn a lingering healing orb. That'll be, I don't know if you guys remember, the original like healing staff shot like these big green like glowy balls. Yeah, we're gonna do that again, but this time they're gonna be a little prettier. I think I'm just gonna make them a particle effect that just like kind of hangs out. Pretty sure I got that working already. And it's just whenever you don't hit an ally, so if you can just shoot the ground all over, and then your friends can just walk over them. I love the glowy balls, yeah, because it like aiming with the staff is hard, right? So this makes it so you can be way more strategic with your healing. So you no longer have to, and also it's more active for the player as well. So for the like your tank or whatever, or your DP, whoever you're trying to heal, you can like stack up these orbs, right, in an area, and then like direct your allies to that location to like heal, right? Can the balls detonate and damage enemies? No. No. That would be cool, but no, I think that we'll just say that for something else. That'd be cooler as like a different spell. There's actually a corruption seal, I think it was called, that we made that didn't make it in because it just didn't get finished, I think. I don't remember what was wrong with it. Where you just summon a thing, and then if an enemy walks over it, it explodes. It's essentially just the trap we already have right now, like the bear trap. So we could just like repurpose that into a spell that's like chaos. Or we could do a fire one or whatever. Just call them like a seal, and then like it puts the seal on the ground, and then whenever an enemy walks over, it explodes or does damage. I'd rather just save that for something else. Minefield spell coming soon. Then order staffs won't do any damage. No, they do. If your order staff does not hit an enemy or an ally, then it spawns a healing orb. Are bank slots supposed to max at 5k a pop? Maybe. Did you max yours out? Bank curve. Yep. I guess I'll fix that. I'm assuming you hit that max. That means you have over 900 slots. You have 990, you have 1,000 slots, Oob. At 5k a pop, you have been spending. Are you cheating? There's no way you have that much money. 800 gold? Or no, 3,200 gold after 800. Oh, GPT. You have to be cheating. There's zero chance you have that much money. Maybe you do, I don't know. Oh, GPT-5 launched, I guess, huh? I didn't realize that. I guess we're trying it right now. And how much is the first slot? 20. You don't have 5 yet? I don't know. It just popped up. I haven't seen it before. Oh, well, okay, so this is going to assume the price goes up linearly because it doesn't have the curve, I just realized, and I can't give it the curve. Unless I can export a curve as something else that I can pop in here, but I didn't think about that. But if it's linearly, which it's not, so it's actually cheaper. Dang, that's only 2.5 million gold. It's crazy how much a million actually is. It's so much more than you think it is. All right, well, here you go. How's this? Are you happy now? Why is this not? Thank you. Go buy storage at your house, Oob. I hope you're happy. Look what you just did. I think we need to change this a little bit. Just as a little smoother. There we go. It wouldn't have mattered. Boom. I know I spent a few mil. Oh, yeah, well, that checks out. It would have been a few million. I never thought anyone would ever get that high. I assumed they would have not spent that much money. It's kind of wild to me that you spent that much money, so there, I fixed the problem. Yeah, I truly didn't think anyone would ever unlock 1,000 slots. But yeah, I mean, even 5,000 slot is a lot, right? So it really didn't need, I guess I probably didn't have to go any higher than that, but anyway. Ban Oob, he hacking. Well, I'm not. Anyways, then order stats won't do any damage. No, Matt, I think you misunderstood. Yeah, okay, you got it, you got it. So I actually did think about that though. I did think about making it so your order staff doesn't deal damage anymore, and it actually would go through allies or through enemies, so you can't hit enemies with it anymore, and it only heals, but then it would heal for like triple or something, or maybe double, or maybe healing. I guess yeah, maybe yeah. So maybe it would deal double healing and generate mana twice as fast whenever you heal. Can barely afford bank upgrade as it is. Well, I didn't. Well, first of all, Sneaky, I don't know when you played last, but I just overhauled the bank slot upgrade, so it's way cheaper now. So if you're talking about like right now, if you've played like the last couple days, last couple weeks, I guess. Actually, how long? When did we launch the update? It was on Tuesday, wasn't it? It's Friday, yeah. So if you played since Tuesday, the upgrade, the bank upgrade or bank slot upgrades got a lot cheaper on Tuesday. But if you haven't played since then yeah, they're really expensive. But even so, what I just changed right now only affects you after 1,000 slots. So the first 5,000 slots or the first 1,000 slots are still the same price. It just astronomically jumps in price after that. My opinion is better to have one single big storage where I can search whatever than 50 chests. Yeah, not gonna lie, I think you're probably right. I actually was really tempted to make a void chest or something, or like something like that, maybe like an astral chest or something that you can get, that goes on your property, and then it just has all of your chests inventory in it, so you can see everything in one location. The only problem is that we would have to make it so you can't deposit anything into it. You have to deposit into other chests, but you can take things out of that chest. Because because otherwise it'd be a nightmare trying to figure out which ones have space. No, I guess I can do it. Maybe. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be that bad. Maybe not. I guess I could just loop through chests. Like, I could have like an array of all the storage, and then I would just loop through each one and try to deposit and see if it works, I guess. I don't even know if that would. I assume that there's a... Yeah, and then if it fails, instead of erroring, we just go to the next one, and we just keep doing that. We really need to distract Kindred while he's finally doing skill trees. This is Oob's fault. I'm glad we're all blaming him. What was the problem with the Mimic having 1k slots again? It was really expensive for performance reasons. Wasn't it? What was the problem? I don't remember. think it was performance based too, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm not really sure why that's a problem. Oh, right. Because with 1,000 slots, when you search, not search, but when you open it up and it shows everything in there, it takes like a whole like 3 seconds to like load everything. We might actually want to just clamp the bank at 1,000 slots because of that reason. It's just expensive to loop through 1,000 items multiple times, and that's what we're doing for some reason in the inventory. Aviatic Factor has this item called a distribution pad, and when you stand on it, it sends the same item to chests that have it and have space. I don't love that because I know players would be like, I hate that it just keeps sending my weapon to this chest, or it keeps sending my arrows to this chest, or whatever. I don't want all my potions deposited every time I step on this thing. But it's not a bad idea. Anyway, back to healing. Matt, how do you feel about that idea? A passive that makes it so your staff no longer deals damage, but instead deals or heals for double. And also regenerates twice as much mana magic. Golfer likes it. Let's put it on the list and we'll see how it feels. We'll let it marinate. What do we call this? Maybe like purity or something, like, I don't know. Pacifism? I kind of like pacifism. While we have the skill tree plan up, can we add blood magic to the chaos tree? Cast spells for chaos stacks if you're using mana. Cast spells for chaos stacks. So that would make it so you never use mana again. Right? Like mana would never be viable for you anymore. Like if you have that passive. How could you use mana? Being able to reliably cast launch while playing a Chaos Mage would be sick. If you run out of mana, you use health. You use Chaos stacks if you don't have mana. Oh, okay. We can't call it blood magic, though. We can't put blood in the game. Let's call it... What? Let's call it like corrupted magic or something. Let's call it that. How about corrupted? Oh, hold on. Let's literally call it corrupted aura, which is exactly what it's just called, but let's just change what it does. Oh, not aura. Because aura is your magic pool, so it makes sense that your magic pool is corrupted now, and therefore, like, yeah, when it's empty. When, it won't be the first one for a Mystic either, or for Chaos either, but, we'll move it somewhere else, but still. Casting a spell. Okay, a non-chaos spell How do we word this? Use chaos decks if you. Yeah. What's it called? Corruption? I'm casting a non-chaos spell. With insufficient magic? With... Is this WoW music in the background? Sure is. Now that we got back to somewhat spell-related things, if you were to make skill books a learnable item instead of ammo, you could do something similar to the outfits where you can set different things for the different loadouts, but can only change them as certain object, like a magic table of some sort. Wait, what? You could do something similar to outfits? Hold on. Are you suggesting... Now this stuff's loaded in, is it? I'm just gonna end up on the beach. Yeah, this isn't loaded. Hold on. Are you saying that instead of having outfits in your inventory that you equip, like this, you should right-click it and add it to your wardrobe, like this? And then you should be able to use a hand mirror, like this? And then cycle through all of your outfits like this and choose what you want to look like this, including that new outfit I just added, like this. Why do orcs look so ridiculous? Is this what you're suggesting? Orcs are like so beefy now. It's so funny. Is that what you're suggesting? If so, that's a great idea. This just came in, well, it's been a while now, actually. Oh yeah, and probably the most important part I missed from your suggestion from a minute ago is you can also change your... Oh, I don't have any more loadouts. If I had another loadout though, called like fishing, I could go to my fishing loadout and choose a fishing outfit. And then you can just cycle back and forth in your loadouts to choose what you want. Something similar to that for spell selections would prevent people from having a ton of spell books on them at any given time. Oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry. I thought you meant when you said similar to the outfits, I thought you meant you could do the same thing with outfits. And I was like, we have that. But you meant similar to the outfits, how the outfits work. You can select your spells. Yes. The idea would be, if we did that, you would go into here and you'd say, okay, I want to change my spells, whatever. And maybe you just have a new tab. Maybe you just have a spellbook tab down here. I don't know. Or maybe it would just be in your skills. Like you have skills, maybe at the top here you'd have like classes and then spells or something. I don't know. Or it could just be a button somewhere on this page, or it could be a button down here somewhere. So you would just click that button. It would pop up and show you all the spells you have in all the different categories of magic, whatever. And then at the top, it would show all the ones you have equipped. And then you would just click the one, you just like click it to equip it and click it again to unequip it. And it would just show if it was equipped or whatever with like a big E or something or a border or something. And that's how you would equip it. And then you can only have so many based on something. I don't know what. Maybe a stat, maybe your level, I don't know. Maybe your highest like level in here determines it. So if your mage is level 12, maybe it's like your level divided by 3. Maybe it's just scaled up based on a curve or something. Who knows? Maybe at like level 12, you can only have 3 spells equipped, right? And then your druid's level 3, so that doesn't matter. You can still have 3 spells equipped, even for Mystic, even though you're level 0, because you are a proficient enough mage to know 3 spells or something, even if they're Mystic spells. And you can equip any spells you want from any classes. That's kind of how we would do that, I think. Does that make sense? So I think that would work really well, and it would limit how many you can have equipped. That way you're not like cycling through like 50 spells every single time. Because one, I think limitation breeds creativity. I like the idea that like you're only limited to like maybe at max level like 5 or 6 spells at a time. So that way you really have to think about what your loadout's going to be when you go into a dungeon, right? I mean, you could technically stop and change your loadout whenever you want. I think that's fine. Maybe you have to like meditate or something. I don't know. Maybe like click the button and it closes this, and then your character like plays an animation, so you like can't do it in combat or whatever, right? You can get interrupted. Something like that would be cool. But yeah, I think limitation is good, and also it would also just make it easier to like find the spells you're looking for rather than just having every single one equipped. It would be kind of neat if you could only have 1 spell equipped, and skills could give you more spell slots. Yeah, and I thought about that too. I kind of like the level, but yeah, also be neat if spells have level requirements. Yes. Yeah, that could also work. So you can't learn it until you're high enough level. We thought about doing that. Honestly, that would have made balancing spells so much freaking easier. But instead we decided to go with the weapon damage. So you can use lightning strike at level 1, but you're only doing whatever weapon level damage is times 7. So it's like not all that useful like early level. It's just, but it's way stronger at like end game levels. Anyway, we could still put level requirements on, and they could work. I don't know how that would work. We could, well, that's not. I don't think we worry about that right now. Okay, I don't know how to phrase this. Let's ask GPT to do it. Sorry, there's a lot of context to GPT, but it works so much better when you have to give it context. When casting non-chaos spells, with no magic, you instead gain Chaos Sickness. How about you can still cast non-chaos spells with insufficient magic without magic? When out of magic? This is, oh god, you guys, this, I can't do this. This is not balanced at all. What are you talking about? We can't do this. That means you can literally just cast lightning bolt after lightning bolt after lightning bolt. The reason that, no, we can't do this. This is a bad idea. The reason we don't do this is because magic has a variable like cost, right? We can make it so you can only cast one spell and then you need to take a potion or wait or whatever, right? Give it a cooldown. But that's the issue, right? Is it... No, I don't like this. That's the problem. We can't do that. And the problem with the cooldown is that then you have a global cooldown for every single spell when you're using this passive. And I can't control that either, which means every single... You can spam spells because you spam potions. That's fine, but there's a resource being consumed. Have you never played a level 30 mage? Yeah, I have a level 29 mage. What do you mean you never touch potions? That means you have food and drink that's giving you magic regeneration. There's no way you can spam back-to-back lightning strikes without running out of magic eventually. If everything is imbalanced, then nothing is imbalanced? I don't know if that's true. Oh no, why am I seeing a Miro board on my day off? Don't worry, Turbo Nerd. This is fun Miro board stuff. What are you doing, Miro? It doesn't sound fun. Make it so the spells consume life directly. That is... We can put a cooldown on it, I guess. I don't know. I don't love it. The whole point of, like, chaos is entirely balanced around the chaos sickness. So every single chaos spell is balanced around that sickness. Which means that's why we don't have any, like, really fast cast spells. Unless they stack damage a lot. Which I think chaos, what's it called? Shards or splinters? Whatever it's called, is kind of unbalanced. I think it's kind of broken right now. But that was the idea behind that one. Is that the first one was a very fast cast, but it didn't do a lot of damage. But then the next one and the next one like stack like triple and quadruple damage, whatever it is, which was the idea. Yeah, and there was a reason. The original idea was every time you cast a spell, it took health instead of magic, and there's a reason we couldn't do that, and I don't remember what it was. But that's why we came up with the chaos sickness. That's why that exists, because it was supposed to be instead of spending magic, you used health. I think another problem with that was just that it's really easy to give yourself 150 health, 200 health. Not really easy, I guess, but it's easy. Even passive health, even that's not even using potions and stuff. That's just having the health. But it's not easy to get that much magic. So it was just way better to use your own health. I don't know, I could be wrong though. I don't remember why we didn't do it. I don't know. My mage is my druid is level 29, and I definitely have to use potions a lot. I've actually been thinking of ways to make that more better. I actually was thinking that maybe mage should have some sort of passive regen, Willpower regen, aura regen. I mean, magic regen. Like what am I saying? Well, you're breaking my heart, just so you know. I just said we can do it. We just have to put a cooldown on it. This is just gonna be. I just feel like this is so broken. That means you can just. I don't know. What do we do, like a 15-second cooldown? Another issue with the cooldown is that we should probably show the cooldown, and I hate doing that because it means I have to make a fully separate icon that represents this and cooldown to show that on the buff bar. Otherwise, we just... I don't know. And also, here's another thing. This might be difficult to do. Because if you have a chaos staff out, you don't see your mana, right? No, I guess you do. Wait, what's the staff called? What's the chaos staff called? Not the, where's the corrupted staff? It's not the staff, it's the spell, right? Yeah, because I see. Actually, I guess you see it all the time, don't you? Even if I have Chaos Charge, that's the one, by the way. Chaos Splinter. Oh, what's the difference between... Oh, never mind. Never mind. It still shows your thing. Is this just totally broken now? Oh no, it shoots. Okay. Is this spell completely useless, Matt? Also, should you have to have a chaos staff to do this? I guess not. Why is this not casting sometimes? I just killed myself. Oh my god. Can't even hit him. This is another problem. Like, aiming with a staff is so freaking hard. Wraithcaller, thank you. That's the one I was looking for. If you really hate it, then I want a trade life for mana chaos spell. I'm also, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm totally down for that. It would just, like, we could even just make it so, like, it just stacks chaos and just gives you some magic. Casting quality of life spells like launch as a chaos mage is just really annoying. It's not useless, but I think Chaos Splinter could have a bit more damage on it, yeah. I honestly don't remember if the damage is handled fully in here or not. I don't think it is. This says 50% for each stack. Is that true? Is it lying to me? I'm getting damage times 0.5. That shouldn't be right. Or is it? Oh yeah, plus this. Yeah, so 50%. So it has 3 stacks. We do 1.5. And then we add that to the damage done, right? What is the damage? Do you think this damage is 100 or as 1.5 times staff damage? It must be, right? So let's assume we're doing 10 damage. So this is 15. So this is already doing that much. Okay, that's right. Right? That's right. I would like a little more front-loaded damage. I like the stacking aspect, but it's not super great for normal enemies relative to other spells. I think it's definitely more of a enemy with high health spell because it takes multiple times to start stacking, and it stacks up to 5 times, right? Which is 250% damage on top of the 150%. So you're getting 350% damage. That's not bad. I think it's fine. I'm leaving it. It's going to be really good against bosses, especially when you just keep hitting with that final hit, right? And we all know the true MVP of this for this spell. Yeah, no, I'm leaving it. We all know how to make this spell work really well against like the Frost Golem, for example. At least I know. I assume you guys know. I know Matt knows. Okay, I'm closing this stuff. We don't need any more of this stuff open. I think it's fine. I'm leaving it for now. I think it's powerful enough, probably. Even at full stacks, that's not much more than like Fireball. True, but it's infinite. If you have certain setups, it's infinite damage without any cooldown. Fireball requires you to like regenerate mana. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. Okay, back to the drawing board. Literally, I think that's fine. We can add that in. We're not doing aura anymore. This is going away. Reaper. When using a scythe, you have a 10% chance to trigger your corrupted aura. We're not doing that anymore. If an enemy dies within your corrupted aura, a skeleton warrior will raise to aid you in combat. I like this. Let's put this up higher. Maybe this is sort of, this is, you know what? This is beautiful. This is perfect. Okay. No, this balances so well. So we have the Ancestral Guardian, right? That'll be its own thing. Like that's like one branch of the tree, and then we have like this other tree all the way down, and that's all the Mystic gets is just that, right? I don't like this one anymore. I think this one has to go away. We'll see, whatever. And then for the exact opposite is the Chaos tree, or the Chaos tree, where you, hello. Okay. Where instead of getting the Ancestral Guardian, whenever you kill something around you, you get a Skeleton Warrior. That's such a cool balance. I love it. So you're going like, you have this, and like this magical like ghost guardian that comes out and is like, I'm return to serve you, my lord, or whatever. And then as a chaos, you're just like raising undead. You're just a necromancer. Okay, love this. Prevention's great. Healing orbs, love it. Pacifism, I'm kind of really into pacifism. I sort of feel like this is an interesting aspect where you're just like, okay, I'm fully embracing healing now. You can still use another staff to do damage, right? But there's no reason you can't have a druid staff or something in your other hand. And there's going to be druid healing spells too. Like there's a whole druid tree for healing, or branch of the tree for healing. Lightning strike is infinite with specific setups, I guess so. But that's like, that takes a lot of effort to set that up like that, right? Like, I don't know. I don't think it's as like insane as it. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, if you're like, you have to take one potion and then you can cast that spell over and over and over again. But you have to do a lot more, and that potion's really easy to get. Like, once you get to Fire Lines, it's really easy to get that spell or that potion. That spell or that potion is like extremely easy to get just in. You can buy like 5 of them at a time almost every single day in Frostfall, which is where I usually stock up because that's like the only time I really use that spell. And then you can just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's really easy to do. Whereas stacking up and getting your setup to work for like infinite lightning strikes, whatever, is not as easy. That takes a lot more effort. I think the answer is you need to make a chaos reskin of lightning strike. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. The problem is it has to apply more than one corruption aura. I mean, chaos sickness. That's the problem. Like, the problem with chaos is it's really meant to be like a build up damage thing, right? Because if you have a spell that's like one big huge boom and you can just cast that over and over again and all you're doing is getting chaos sickness, it's just like, it's like the trade-off is so not there. You know what I mean? It has to be balanced around the fact that you're only like slowly ticking away your health. So like the spells that you're using need to be like decay. They need to be like damage over time spells, right? Because they need to kind of represent that. Yes, you should be able to stack up a ton of damage or over time do a ton of damage, but it should take a few spells for you to do that, to get to that point, or at least just time. I don't think, like, Chaos Mystics are not heavy hitters. They're not glass cannons. That's what the mage is for, right? The mage should be the one casting big, powerful spells, which we need to fix because we don't have enough like powerful mage spells. But we'll get to that point. Also, the mage is elemental, right? So fire and ice. So they're very much about control and then I guess also damage over time. And it's more, honestly, more druid that has like the big heavy hitting spells, right? Like lightning. I guess they're kind of both balanced. A perk that increases the amount of chaos splinters you can stack would be cool. Yeah, but I don't want to do passives that only specifically affect one spell, because if you don't play with that spell, then it's a waste of a very few passives you have access to, right? And I also, like, it's very possible that players go through the whole game and never even find Chaos Splinter. You know? It would be cooler to have a trinket, probably, that you find with Chaos Splinters, so you can use it with it when you find it. Or maybe, like, even have, like, an NPC or something, like some necromancer somewhere, who, like, sees that you have Chaos Splinters in your inventory and is like, oh, I created that spell, or my grandfather created that spell or something. Here, take this. It'll make it more powerful. That would be kind of cool, too. It's like a little secret thing. Also like the idea above where each sickness stack gives resilience. Yes, that's a cool idea. So I had an idea at one point where chaos armor. Yeah, okay. So, all right, we have a couple things in here. We have chaos armor and chaos tolerance. So chaos tolerance, prolonged chaos exposure has built up a tolerance, reducing the chance of chaos sickness when casting chaos spells by 70%. This is cool. The problem kind of is that Chaos Armor here, which I believe is already coded and working. Chaos Armor has a really interesting effect where it increases your willpower and resilience by the percentage of missing health. Not how many stacks of chaos you have, chaos sickness, but by your missing health. Meaning that you are most powerful when you're on the brink of death, right? And because your resilience is going up, your health can be really low, but you're not taking like you're taking like very little damage because your health is low, but your resilience is so high. So like you can kind of play as like this living on the edge, like necromancer who's just like casting, I don't know, like I really like it. Yeah, I like Chaos Armor a lot. But I do feel like it's sort of kind of flies in the face of Chaos Tolerance here. Passive that have a chance to reduce Chaos Sickness stacks by 1 per sickness tick. That's a cool idea too. I guess I just maybe that's how we change this, is instead of having a chance to not get it, we have a chance for like every time it ticks to remove a stack. I don't know how we do that other than I think I know how to do it, maybe. Look, we had something on here. Chaos energy. All spells are treated chaos and no longer require magic. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The corrupted aura is fine. Oops. We can't have this one. I really want to do something with the scythes. We can, with the flip of a switch, we can turn on projectiles with scythes, which I think could be kind of cool. But at the same time, like the whole point of scythes is like you're supposed to be like up close and like personal, right? Like you're in like the in the battlefield. So I kind of think maybe that's not all that useful. We could kind of go like warrior a little bit with it. Maybe there's like a way we do like if you're near enemies, you gain willpower. Also, do scythes do damage based on willpower or focus? Because that could also be really interesting if scythes did willpower. But I don't remember how that works now. I think it does. I have a thing in here that says, I don't know, what's the function called? It's called like find governing attribute. Yes. So scythe. Yep. Scythe uses willpower. So that would be kind of interesting if like for like each nearby enemy you gain +1 willpower or something. Man, stacking willpower is going to get kind of nuts. What about for... Oh, I got a good one. Okay. What do we call this, though? I just asked GPT to give me a bunch of, like, names for, like, necromancy kind of, like, spells, just to, like, get my brain going. Graveborn, is that cool? I don't know. We might change it. What if... What about that? 1+1 willpower, +1 resilience for each nearby undead ally. So you already have undead presence, which allows you to basically use the trinket, right? This is just the trinket working at all times. Then you can stack the trinket on top of it, and you're going to start getting 2 skeletons every single time you kill someone. And then you can have your undead, what's it called? The Crimson Moon skeleton. And technically the Wraith is also undead. So you could have, like, that's 2 permanently. And then every time you kill an enemy, that's 2 more. You can have like 12 of these things up. That could be like absolutely nuts. Oh yeah, and then there's probably going to be more spells that summon these guys too. I don't think you can use the Necro and Crimson Moon trinket at the same time. No. The undead, this undead. Oh, right. You can't. You're right. I forgot it was a trinket for the Crimson Moon one. 2 trinket slots are planned. I do plan on adding a second trinket slot. I haven't got around to it yet. But I 100% plan to do that. I don't think it'll be that hard. Maybe we just knock that out. It's already 12:30. Maybe not today. This is dumb, but the biggest problem with it, the biggest reason I haven't done it yet, this one? The biggest reason I haven't done it yet is because if I add another trinket slot, I'm going to be unbalanced. I have 7 slots then. So it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to balance 7 slots to make it look nice. So I need to add like at least 1 more. And I'm really tempted to add, we have a backpack slot, a glider slot, a trinket slot, ammo in 2 hands. I'm tempted to do the shoulder armor and a cape. I think a cape would be really cool. The only problem is I have to go through all of the outfits that have capes and take them off and make them new items that are capes. And then I have to add capes to the outfit section and like make a whole new thing there. So like that's a whole bunch of work to do that. Like a whole day of work just to add capes to the game, which is like, it's not even that important, you know? Like, I don't know. I do think players would like being able to customize their like cape if they wanted a cape. Now I said cape too many times and it doesn't sound like it's the right word now. Shoulder armor, I also absolutely love the idea of shoulder armor. I think it would be really badass. The problem is they can't have any stats unless we want them to be like not visual, right? And that kind of sucks because we've kind of done a really good job of making sure that none of our gear have like stats on them if they're not necessary. Or our visual stuff has stats. So that kind of blows. We can't do that. 4 trinket slots confirmed. 4 trinket slots would be pretty nuts. But I am tempted to switch the trinket slots to rings, having like 2 rings. So you can just do underneath each hand or above each hand, probably. We'll probably slide this down, do 2 trinket slots here, and then we have space for, I don't even know how to rearrange this. We have to have 3 wide, unfortunately. I mean, I guess we don't have to, but then I have to like put some padding in and everything. It's annoying. So yeah, adding 3 new slots would be ideal. I'm also tempted to do an armor slot. Like that's like not visual, right? Just like the trinket's not a visual slot, so it'd just be like armor, and then we'd have to add armor to the game. And I think that's kind of lame, and also kind of unnecessary. I don't know. I don't know what else to do with this. But yeah, I don't know. We don't need to do it yet. Oh, I've also, no, it's not, let's not get into it. Yeah, so I forgot that the Crimson Moon skeleton was a trinket. I was thinking it was a spell for some reason. But I want to spell that summons undead. And obviously makes a lot of sense that it's chaos. The problem is, and kind of what I'm thinking about doing is I wanted sort of, I don't know how to do this. I kind of want to like clamp the player's health. So like every time you summon, I mean, we're already doing. It'd be kind of nice if you cast a spell, you could summon undead. You obviously get chaos sickness, right? Because you're doing chaos magic. But then it also clamps your health. So like maybe you lose like 10% of your health for each skeleton, so you can't just summon 100 of them, right? We could also just like put a limit on it too. It could just be like a new kind of skeleton. Maybe it's like a skeleton archer. That'd be really cool. Because like all of our skeletons do the exact same thing. So it'd be kind of nice if it was like summon skeleton archer or something. And then you summon them and it yeah, like you just like clamps your health so you can have like 3 of them. Or we could also just set it so like you don't have 3 of them at a time. Because then if it's separate from other warrior, then we don't have to count that as a summon. Anyway, skeletal archer for the win. I really think that'd be really useful. Anyway, okay, I really like this though. I think we're gonna keep this. Okay. What's this one? While using a scythe, you have a 10% chance to trigger your corrupted aura. Scythes now have lifesteal. Scythes having lifesteal might be the win here. What if we made this like a 5% chance to trigger undead presence instead of, because like corrupted aura doesn't work. Can you crit with a scythe? You can, right? Can Reaper work on all melee weapons? No. I can't give you. That would be weird to have lifesteal on every single weapon. It's called Reaper because it's a scythe. You could split this into 2 different skills and it would still be fun. Yeah, but I'm trying to, I just have to, you have to remember that like all these, we only have so many slots, right? Most of these skills only have, what is it, 12? Not even that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. You only get 12 passes, period. And that's up to level 50. And honestly, I'm really tempted to raise the cap to 60 recently because I kind of really want to do the other zone, but before Bone Reach, but I don't know. I'm still up in the air on that one. I guess the other zone could be up to level 62, whatever, it doesn't matter. Or like the rest of the world, everything else we add in could just be level 50, built or designed around level 50. Anyway, yeah, this, wait, what? This doesn't even have all the things in it. This is missing all these things. Anyway, there's only 12 passives, so like I want to make sure every single passive feels impactful enough that it's like worth buying, worth spending a point on. And I don't ever want to like put a passive in that's just sort of like this one little thing or whatever, you know. I think just having lifesteal on all melee weapons is going to be nuts. Like, first of all, that means adding Reaper on with a rogue means like you're pretty much invincible, right? You're gonna. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that's a good idea. It's different for sites because they're slower, right? You're like, I don't know. Maybe it's two-handed weapons. All two-handed weapons have lifesteal. That would make it a little more broad, so you could still do it as like a warrior if you wanted to. Like the life cycle with lifesteal skill. What do you mean the life cycle? I really like lifesteal too. What if you had lifesteal? What if it gave you lifesteal on all weapons, all melee weapons, but only when you have chaos sickness, or it's based on your chaos sickness stacks? What if you could choose between lifesteal and casting skills? Oh, between casting spells. I see. I don't know if I can. I could technically add in a thing that lets you have to choose one or the other, but I don't have that right now, and I'm kind of thinking it might not be worth adding it in. And I haven't designed that around any other classes yet. So I don't know if it's... I don't know. Okay, so if we did lifesteal, but like your lifesteal level was your chaos sickness level. So for example, if you have one stack of chaos sickness, you heal like 2 health, right? But if you have 2 stacks, you heal like 6 health. And if you have 3 stacks, then you heal like, 12 health or something. Because that would mean if you're using daggers, one, you'd have to cast a chaos spell to get the life steal. Meaning you'd have to swap between a scythe or whatever you're going to use, cast the spell, then swap to daggers, and then go to town to heal yourself back up. And you'd have to have 3 stacks, so you'd have to cast like 3 spells, get that tick going, and then you could switch to daggers and heal back up real fast. And then switch back. And that kind of feels a little more like... It's kind of tedious, so it's like... Is it worth doing? I don't know. But then again, like, I don't know, man. Daggers are so fast. Like, if you can just heal yourself like 3, even 3 health, like every, half a second, that's a lot of healing really fast. Like, that's like invincibility mode. And and then think about this. Now imagine if you're using, what's that spell? What is this spell? It's the one where you... Is it called Glyph? Oh, how did I not see it? Dark Pact. If you use Dark Pact, then you're all allies that take damage heal you when, like, every time. So if you're using that in addition, this could get pretty nuts. I think getting lifesteal with sickness sounds cool. I'm kind of thinking only 2-handed weapons. I just feel like... I mean, I guess we could, like, trigger it differently, too. Like, maybe if it's a one-handed weapon, it only heals 1, 2, and 3 damage. And if it's two-handed weapons, it heals, like, 3, 6, and 9 or something. I don't know. I do like lifesteal a lot. I just think it should just be scythes. And I know that doesn't feel as generic, but like, I just feel like there's not a lot of mage abilities that are like, this is super useful for my warrior. Like, I don't think all of our passives need to have that, you know? Like, I do think this needs two things. I think this does need to do two things. Just lifesteal on a site doesn't feel impactful enough by itself. What if it was like, I don't know. Chaos Armor is definitely going in. I really like both of these. How many do we need right now? 4, right? I think we just need 4 for each tree. Let's go look at a tree. Mage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 for that one. I thought we had less than that though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, hold on. Are my druid? This isn't the right icon. Am I missing skills for this? Static step. I thought I had a thing for this. Nope. We have stone armor. We have thorns. We have storm break. Ceilings is not done yet. Oh. Did I change this? Druids get seedlings? This is the same thing that the order or the mystics were supposed to get. Why did I do this? Who designed these skill trees? Whose idea was this? Stone armor, thorns, stone armor, seedlings, wild growth. What does wild growth do again? Casting druid spells have a 30% chance to sprout healing mushrooms under your feet. Got it. And then seedlings. I don't know. Now I'm realizing. I think that. I mean, it's kind of fine because technically you could do both. Technically, you could have seedlings and you could have healing orbs, and you get both, and you're doing way more healing. But it is kind of like, I don't know why I decided to steal that for them. I think I just really liked it and I wanted to steal it. And I probably just stole it. Or I thought I just came up with it again as a separate thing. I don't know. Maybe because like we weren't doing this with the healing orbs. We could just, I guess we could take it off. What if instead of healing orbs, maybe even what if instead of pacifism, like maybe we just ditch both of these, we combine them into one thing, and it's like, hang on. Hang on. Okay. Guiding light. If we combine these into one thing called guiding light, no, what are we doing? Get out of here. And then your staffs, or order staff, this has to be order staff. Order staff projectiles. Seek out wounded allies. Maybe under like set like 60% health or something. What if daggers also generated the healing orb? Shut up. Get out of here, Matt. 60% health. Let's see. If any allies nearby have under 60% health, your order staff projectiles, seek them out. Automatically? What do we say? Like, so instead of healing orbs, you're just casting spells, or you're just casting your basic projectiles into the fight, and anytime one of your allies is lower health, it just automatically targets them and flies straight to them instead of attacking enemies. It's too easy, right? That's like that just means you just sit there and left click the whole time. Like you don't have to think about anything. You just click 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 click. That's the whole game for you as a healer. You don't even have to cast any spells because like eventually you're going to do enough like healing like that. I don't like it. It's a cool idea, but I don't like it. What else can we do? What else can we do that like makes it so it's easier to heal allies? Because like your primary like constant healing is just hitting them with your staff projectiles, right? So how do we make that easier? Because like you saw me trying to target those spells on the boars earlier. Like when your human allies are running around, jumping everywhere and dodge rolling everywhere, it's impossible to hit them. So how do we make this easier to hit allies without making it like brainless? Like the healing orbs does work for that, you know. Like you can choose like you just shoot the ground, a healing orb pops up there, and then your allies can like run to it, right? I mean, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So you never know if they're actually going to do that or they're just going to, you know, get themselves killed and not heal. What if you're not only healing but buffing also, like health increase? I like that idea, but that makes it even easier. The idea is like, I like the guiding light idea because I like the idea that your like projectiles are like homing now and they like curve and like go toward your allies. But like I said, I'm just afraid that that's just gonna make it easier. So, or make it too easy, and you're like, there's no point in casting spells. You're just gonna sit there and left click the whole time, and like all your allies get healed up fully, and you don't have to aim, right? It's just auto aim. It just makes it way too easy. Make targeting allies easier. Huge collision. Yeah, I thought about that too, but I don't want. The problem with if we make the collision bigger, it could hit enemies first before it hit your allies, and then it's not gonna. It'll just deal damage and not heal them. And if you make the collision too big, so let's say you have first of all, a good tank in a video game, in World of Warcraft or whatever, like in most games, will run in, get aggro, and then turn the enemy around to face away from the team, right? So whenever they do like big AoE things, whatever, like boss fights anyway, usually, then they're aiming the other direction, and the team can stand all behind them, right? Everyone has like they have flanking now, and they can stand behind them and not take damage from those big hits, right? Any big sweeping hits or charges, whatever, the tank has all that control, and then no one else has to get hit with that stuff. That's what a good tank does. So now if you're a healer, first of all, you're dealing damage. You now have to position yourself behind the tank or on the side to hit the tank, because you can't shoot your things in our game through enemies unless you have pacifism. Pacifism does make you able to do that, which is cool. And I'm kind of really liking that because of that. But also, like, healing orb still works because you can like shoot them off to the side of the tank or whatever, and then the tank can like run over and grab them when he needs them. So it's like, I love that idea. But that's exactly what druids do now. And I already know I have that coded, and I really like it anyway because it actually fits way better with the druid kit, since the druid only has two like healing related passives anyway, and the mystic order, or the order mystic, has all of them. I said mystic order mystic, you know. What if you can stack the orbs and then click on an ally so the orbs go to the ally? I don't know how I would do that. That would be a lot of work. You can stack them to be a better heal. Yeah, I don't know. Curveball heals. Boss also cannot dodge or parry attacks from behind. Yeah, true. Yes. Bosses in our game don't dodge or parry anyway, but yes. Have seedlings and healing orbs be differentiated by raw healing versus applying regen. That's not a bad idea either. What if healing orbs did a raw heal? But if you're full health, you can still pick them up and get armor? I can see that going very wrong, because I already see like a lot of players getting really frustrated when their team is picking up all the orbs. Yeah, either resilience or vitality would work, but it would be really frustrating. Probably vitality would be better, because then you're getting getting overhealed essentially. But that would be really annoying for the healer when they're like, okay, I'm gonna drop some orbs for you, and the rogue runs over and grabs them as armor, as vitality or whatever, and you're like, dude, that was meant to be, that's sitting there for the tank to pick up. Like, please don't pick those up. Like, that would, I could see that getting really annoying. Oh man. Okay, here's an idea. What if your projectiles burst every time they hit an enemy or ally into like a healing mist? That's also very druid. But that would mean that you could like hit the ground near your ally, and it would still give them a bit of a heal, because they would be in the range. And then direct hitting would give them a bonus heal. Just my 2 cents. The druid healing in WoW is mainly fun because of the stacking HOTs and insta heals consuming them. You can play a bit but I'm mainly a holy paladin, not that known with druid. Yeah, I do think stacking HOTs is really fun. So maybe that's how we switch it. Is the seedlings heal or grant a heal over time. I'm kind of liking that. And then we just give ordered mystics the healing orbs that just do burst, like flat healing. I kind of like both though. I like the burst effect too. I also love lingering healing AoE for the staff attacks. Oh, you're saying the burst heal thing that I was saying, like the burst effect when I also love the heat seeking heal as a spell idea. Yes, that would be cool as a spell idea. I think we have something like that already though, or we had something like that. But we have like a heal. Did we maybe we just changed it to burst heal? I thought we had a healing spell where you like cast it and then just the lowest health ally in the area got healed, but it wasn't working well or something. I don't remember what was wrong with it. We have broken magic missile. Is that still in the game? Hello, Uzelol. No, not in game. Okay. Awesome. From my experience with healing in various games, hoping your allies will heal themselves using your orbs/potions always goes wrong. I agree. The thing is, like, I don't know. We tested this early, like the very first. Was it the very first Frostfall event we had when we first introduced the Frost Golem? I think we did, and we had the healing orbs on the staff, that one staff, and people loved it because you could just stack them up. They were like just laying everywhere, and then players could just run through them. And people were like, it was way better than just like trying to hit your enemies, or hit your allies with it. I really wish we had like ways to just target allies. Like I kind of want to just build a new spell targeting system where you charge it, and while charging, you like aim toward an ally and it'll just do like a line trace. We'll just probably do a couple line traces, and the closest one it hits will just put like a marker over their head, like a little like Sims marker or something, arrow or whatever, to show like that's who you're targeting. So you can't miss, right? And you'll know who you're targeting. I think we could do something like that. And that would be kind of cool. And then we could do a lot more spells, like healing spells especially, where it's just like single target. You don't have, that's like most of our stuff is projectile based, and that's the problem, is like it's really hard to like hit projectiles in this game. That's why like archers now do so much damage, because when you actually can connect a hit or shot, like it needs to be impactful because you miss a lot, unfortunately. Yeah, the curveball healing, the seeking healing is cool. The problem is I just don't want it to be like the players just need some sort of agency over it still. Okay, I still think pacifism is really good because it means you can just shoot through enemies. This one's good too. What if we had a passive where if all your nearby allies, which would mean Ancestral Guardian, would count for this, have like 80% or more health, then you trigger a mana regeneration. Or you just like it just gives you passive mana regeneration as long as all your allies have over 80% health. Maybe even 90%. I guess technically we're not missing any. Oh yeah. We also have Intervening Presence, which that's not what that's called anymore. Hold on, hang on. Let's go look at the thing. I think we have enough actually. I think we're already like done for the first pass because we're not doing all the skills for the first launch. We're gonna launch more with Bone Reach. We'll launch the rest of them with Bone Reach. Let's go look at order. Okay. Mystic. Yeah, so Aura is going away. Urgency is going. Oh, decrease cast time of all order spells by 20%. That's going away. Mystic Armor. Casting an order spell grants you a stack of Mystic Armor, reducing cast time and granting +1 magic regeneration. See, I kind of like that though. I also think like some sort of meditation skill like we have for mages would be really cool. I don't know. Powered Aura, Enchanted Intervention, Lingering Heal, healing an ally, Order Staff. You have a 30% chance to trigger Rejuvenation, healing them for 20% of their health over 10 seconds. Should be max health. I don't know if that's actually in it. No. Mystic Tether. This is the one I want. This is the like I think this should be like the last Mystic ability. Or no, that's fine. Yeah. Cuz like we have an intervention one. Intervention like stops you from dying. It's this one. Allies in your Mystic's Aura, which we don't have an aura anymore. We ditched that. But allies in your Mystic's Aura who would otherwise take fatal damage will instead be healed. This triggers a magic overload, destroying your aura. Yeah, so it destroys your aura and you have to get a new one, which is super easy to do. Anyway, the aura is going away, so we don't have to worry about that. But I really love the intervention idea. But I'm thinking maybe what we do is we just make it a spell. We just make it a spell that takes a ton of mana, magic, and you just cast it and it just has like a what is the... I think it's an Overwatch. There's an ability that's like that. You just cast it and it has like a bubble or something or like a magical aura or something around it, whatever. And if any enemies die in that area within the time where it lasts, 10 seconds, whatever it lasts for, it destroys the aura and heals that ally instead. I think that'd be really cool. And it'd be just a way for like healers to like be like, okay, this guy's definitely gonna die, so let's cast our intervention. There goes all my magic. So now I can't do anything else, so go ahead and die. Then that guy heals back up instead of dying, and then you can like, yeah, I love it. And we have Lingering Heal, but Mystic Tether is the one I think should be like the ultimate passive in this. So you're tethered between the spirit and living realms. On death, call upon a mystic apparition that heals nearby allies while you remain in the spirit realm. So you die, and for as long as you stay dead and don't revive, a mystic pops up and just like power heals like everyone in your group. Like it does a heal every half a second, and just like heal. Like it just like it'll just heal up everyone to full health basically while you're dead. And then when you come back, you're back with ideally full health. Hopefully someone can res you, or you can use as anchor shrine, or spirit anchor, I mean. And then you're back to life and you're good to go. I really love that one. Why isn't it on here though? That's Mystic Tether. Okay, that's gonna be our like final one. So I don't even know if we need another one or not. Lingering heal is nice too, though. The problem is, like, I think that's a good point, that druids should really be focused on heal over time, and I think mystics should be really focused on like burst heals, like heal, like direct healing, raw healing, I guess. Have you guys ever healed in Terra? I've never played Terra, where you have circles displayed on the ground, meaning you need to find a position to heal from. I have not played that. I might have to look that up, though. That sounds really cool. You have agency over curveball healing. It shoots in direction you aim, then it curves toward nearest allies, so you can still miss if you target an enemy or wall. It's not a bad idea. I think you're right that it could be still fun. I think the problem with that would be my coding skills making that happen. I don't know. We could try it, I guess. Terra also had a healing mechanic where you needed to mouse over 3 targets, then press to heal all 3. That'd be cool. We don't have a mouse available, unfortunately, because all you have is a reticle. So I guess you could technically tag targets by just looking at them. Like you could like mouse over them by looking at them, but that might be kind of annoying. I think it'd be nice if we had, like, we have lightning strike, right? So it'd be nice if you had something like this, but it didn't show this on the ground, and instead it just, whatever the closest thing is that you're looking at, had a mark over their heads, and then when you let go, it healed that person. But that's more of a spell for sure. Like, we can design spells around those things to do that kind of stuff if we want. We really need just passives right now. Anyway, I think we're good though, and it's 1 o'clock. I don't know. Let's go look at the chaos tree one more time. Did we finish the chaos tree? Are we happy with that one? We don't know about the Reaper yet. I don't know how we got distracted by that one, but yeah, we definitely have enough here. Other than Reaper, that we still need to figure out how we're doing that one. I think everything else is good here. My man. What are we doing? Thank you. And I don't know about this one yet. I think we're good here though. Well, we need 5. Maybe we don't here. Maybe we only need 4 here. Maybe we only need 3 here, because we're technically going to have 2 trees in one, right? Let's just put Reaper further down and we can deal with this later. Let's just do Chaos Armor here. And Tolerance will also be further down. There we go. So we have 4 things we're not really entirely sure on, and then we'll have 4 that are in right now. Okay. I guess I'm going to go start implementing these, and then hopefully get a build out later today with most of this in, if not all of it. But I need lunch, and it's time to go raid. Maybe 21 people. Should we raid? What skill we're still missing? That's why God invented LLMs. For what reason? What was the reason? Trying to figure out the last few things to do. I don't think we're gonna raid anyone. I don't see anyone live that I want to go raid. Would you guys be sad if we didn't raid anyone? If I just let you all free to do your own bidding, to go find your own person to watch if you want to watch someone else. Oh wait, we can raid this guy. Let's go raid this guy. Go! Be free! Go do your thing. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I appreciate it. I'll be back on Tuesday. And hopefully we'll have lots more of this done. I'm really tempted to start like really going. I think now that we're like getting back into skill trees, I think we're just gonna go like full steam ahead on this. And this is just gonna be like every stream just knocking out skill trees, getting this done, fixing bugs with them, whatever. Until we get them out. And then we're gonna have to dive right into dungeons too, because we need a dungeon to test skill trees in. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and we'll be working this out. We're gonna be hopefully by Tuesday we'll have skill trees like they'll all be like rudimentary like finished anyway. Sorry, I'm trying to raid. Hang on. I'm trying to force the raid. And there's an ad break? Why, dude? Why would you pop up an ad break when we're raiding? So stupid. Okay, bye guys. See you next time.